So Lauren, lovely to speak to you. And actually, I realised that in all of the world of technology, I've only ever emailed with you and never met you. So hello.
Hi, nice to meet you in
Lovely to meet
person.
you. Where are you? Where are you based?
I'm in Spain. I'm in the south of Spain in a little town called Ronda.
And I bet you, just like here, it's really windy and cold, with a little bit of sleet.
Well, you'd actually be surprised. It was snowing last week. Um,
We had snow last week as well, so
yeah, it was pretty much like that in many parts of Spain. Also, I'm quite high up in the mountains, so it's been actually freezing, but it's really nice today, actually, so I can't complain.
no, excellent. So, tell me a little bit about your journey. What are you completely alcohol free?
Yes, that's right. I'm completely alcohol free since 14th of September 2016.
Cool. And you live in the land of red wine. So, what does that sobriety mean for you, and how did you get there?
Well, basically, since I was about 18 years old, I got into drugs and alcohol at a very young age. I headed over to South America to do some traveling, and it sort of all began there when I was 18, and progressively got worse over the years. And I was living in Korea in 2016. I was teaching English there. And, as time had went on, I was just giving less of a crap about myself, about the people I was surrounding myself with, and about the implications of the actions I was taking. And, a few things happened and it just scared the crap out of me. And I just stopped. I literally couldn't take it anymore. Um, and yeah, I just took it one day at a time since then. And here I am almost 3 years later. So for me, it's just been, I mean, a lot of people that have quit drinking, especially have had quite a traumatic time with it, will just feel this sense of gratitude. I mean, every day I feel so grateful, almost like I've been given a second chance, because things could have gone
Definitely.
a really different way.
And so tell me how old you are, just out of interest.
I'm 34. I'm 35 in July.
Cool. So I gave up when I was 38. And how would you characterize your drinking, just to give it some context? But because you were in a foreign country as well, so were you a daily drinker, or was it a no off switch, or how would you describe that?
It's a good question, actually. Yes, I've always suffered from the no off switch thing. There was times where it seemed like it was an all-consuming, unstoppable force. It literally felt like a force had taken over me, and I was unstoppable. But over the years, the patterns did change, and I suppose that also depended on my job, because I still had to, try and hold down a job. So in my 20s, there was times where I drink 2 bottles of wine a night, 5 nights a week. Living in Korea, it was more of a binge drinking at the weekend, literally also staying up. Whenever I drank alcohol, it actually had the effect on me that it almost like a drug. It made me really hyper, and I could stay awake for ages. And
God, you would have been that annoying drunk that wanted to carry on, and I'd have been the one
oh,
slumped to the corner going, I can't do anymore.
no, that was totally me, honestly. So imagine even drugs fit into that mixture. It was a bloody disaster. So yeah, it sort of changed over the years, but the last few years before I stopped, it was heavy sort of binging, and yeah, I was really starting to feel the effects of that on my body as well.
So you're nearing the 3 year mark, or if you just passed the 3 year mark?
So it'll be 3 years in September.
In September. And so you've decided to create a venture, which I guess is really interesting. I see the pattern of people now, Club Soda's been going 4 years, and I can see that pattern of people getting through that initial period and then going, right, what now? I've suddenly got a life to plan, because it was
Yeah.
never that opportunity was never there before, and what am I going to do with it? And people do all sorts of different things, which include revising their relationships and all sorts of other things, but you've decided to create something. Tell me about what that is.
Yeah, and it's sort of funny how something that was so detrimental to me in the past, this sort of love for exploration, love for new, exciting things, and sort of compared with this inability to stop in the past, it was just a recipe for disaster. But sort of turned around now, and I'm able to use that for example, what I'm doing. I mean, I love traveling, and I love going to a place and sort of, you know, getting really involved in the culture. I speak a few different languages. I love languages as well. I love communicating with people. So whenever I left Korea, I did a bit of a world trip. And I really was thinking about, you know, what do I want to do? It has to be something that I'm passionate about. I wanted to work for myself. And I stumbled across Rhonda towards the end of my trip, and a friend suggested that I create these experiences, alcohol-free experiences. And yeah, so it basically just went from there. And this is just really perfect, you know, and I can share this place with people as well. And there's so many different things about these trips that that are really, really good for people and are going to make people feel really good as well.
I find it really interesting because really this is this market is still really new, if we can call ourselves a market, which we are to a degree, because we're now these sober curious people or mindful drinkers. We don't want everything about our life to be about alcohol, but the market doesn't exist to give us those experiences in a way that we would want, you know. There's always that fear that you're going to end up on, you know, an adventure holiday with a group of young people who are getting drunk every night, or you end up going on, actually even worse is the middle-aged experience where, you know, it's basically an expectation that you do lots of dinners and drink all of the local wine every night. So how have you created your packages? Tell us a bit, because it's not just one holiday, you've got a whole set of packages.
Yeah, so basically the whole idea behind this was not just to create an experience where people can, you know, get away from their daily life and can, you know, go sit around at the beach and sunbathe. I wanted to create something where, you know, people can learn something. People will feel really, really invigorated and full of energy at the end of the holiday. And so I based them on a mixture of outdoors activities and cultural activities like cooking and learning a bit of the language, learning some sort of local traditional skills as well. And yeah, some of the trips have a bit more, have some more outdoor activities than others, because I know different people like more adventure. But generally, that's the main idea. And really, they're for people who want to get out there and aren't afraid to try something new, and they do understand the benefits of, or maybe they don't understand the benefits of being outside surrounded by nature. But yeah, that's basically the trips in a nutshell. And I mean, I can go into a bit more detail about our trip in June.
I will ask you about that in a second, but yeah. I am interested in that idea because drinking, although we like to think that we did lots of being outdoors while drinking, we were basically not very far away from the bar outdoors drinking. Yeah. And I had completely underestimated the power of the outdoors, and in terms of being able to quieten my mind in a way that I was using alcohol to do. And do you know, for you, how has being in that really natural environment, I mean, I still really enjoy the hyper city environment as well, but yeah, how do you think that nourishes people? And for people who've never really taken much of a step outdoors, is it safe to come to you, and will you look after them, and will you won't make them a campfire and leave them on their own in the woods, will you?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, it's a good point, and I understand that, you know, maybe a lot of people, especially live in the city, they don't get to spend much time outdoors. And one of the really great things that I've done here and I've been able to do is create really good relationships with some great outdoor activities groups, really experienced, all local. They know the areas. So, for example, when we go on our hike, it's not just going to be me. We're going to have a local guide that's going to go with us and talk to us about the surroundings in the area. When we do our kayaking trips as well, the nighttime one especially, we're going to have local guides. So definitely you can feel safe here. With regards to, you know, the benefits of being outdoors, I mean, personally, that was a huge part of my change of lifestyle and recovery. You know, I bought a bike. I got really into that and took off in Korea on bike trips, and that really, really helped me. It was invaluable, actually. And even being here, you know, I'm just looking out right now. You can't really see, but I can see mountains and hills, and
Yeah.
it
Can
makes
you
me
hear
safe.
can you hear the police sirens as they go past here? They tend to come up quite loud on
Oh,
on
they're
here.
police sirens. I can't hear them.
Just like where you are. It's just like where you are. Yeah, and can people be amateurs? Have never really done much walking, never gone kayaking? Can they come on your trips if they are amateurs, really?
Yes, that's another thing I wanted to make sure that people who haven't done these activities before can take part. So, for example, in June, the kayaking trip, a mixture of kayaking and hiking, I was thinking there. The hiking trip is, it's pretty chilled out. I mean, of course, you're going to have to walk uphill, and you do need a general level of fitness to go on these trips. You know, if you can't really you walk further than 100 meters, it's going to be a bit difficult for you. And I want to be honest with people up front, it's not super active, but you need to be able to, you know, walk up a hill. Or Ronda itself is quite a hilly place, you see, as well. So yeah, and with the kayaking, we're going to be in a lake. So, you know, it's not going to be out in the ocean with waves.
We're not going to lose anyone over a waterfall then.
No. It's very safe. And I don't know if you've done kayaking yourself in a sort of lake area. A lot of people, they try it. My mum recently got into it as well. My sister this year, I got them out on the kayak, and people love it because it's very peaceful and tranquil. And I personally love to go kayaking on my own, but you know, in this case, we'll take people out on the trips, and you get to see parts of nature that you wouldn't usually see if you're in the car or on foot. And it's generally just a really sort of healing, feel good activity.
Cool. So tell us about the first trip, and then I am interested in what the themes of your other trips are and when they are. So what's your first one?
Yeah, great. So one of the reasons I am really excited about this one is because I've coincided it. It's on the 12th to the 16th of June. I've coincided it with the full moon. So we're going to have a full moon kayaking nighttime trip. And that's going to be taken with a guide from a local outdoors company. So prior to that, actually, we're going to go to, it's a little whitewashed village. I don't know if you can imagine, or if you've seen pictures of the south of Spain. They've got these beautiful little whitewashed villages on top of the hills. We're going to head there. We're going to go to the top. There's a lovely little sort of old, really old fortress where you get a panoramic view of the sunset. We'll have dinner, and then we'll walk down to the lake where we'll do the kayaking. So you can imagine with the moonlight, you know, full moon. Well, it's like a day off the full moon. You know, there's lots of light. The water's really good temperature. People, you know, often jump in as well on those trips. So that's really unique, actually, a sort of one-off experience. Not many people get to do that many times in their life. So that's one of the highlights.
Cool. Catherine's saying that I don't quite know, because she says you're based down south, which is impossible for her to get to. I'm not sure whether that means she's in Spain as well. But obviously, this is a holiday, not a one day. So people are traveling to you for a holiday. What's the nearest airport?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So nearest airport, you can go from Seville or Malaga. If you are in London, you can have your pick. If you're not, no worries. You might not be able to travel to Seville direct, but Malaga is fine too. So generally, people will make their own way to Ronda. If there's a group of 4 or more people arriving around the same time, I will organize a shuttle, which is a little bit extra, but not much. Obviously, if there's just one person traveling, then it would be quite expensive, but that's definitely an option. And so people get there on the Wednesday, and the trip lasts until the Sunday, and that's when the people would check out of the hotel.
Yeah, so this is for anyone who wants to travel to go on their holiday. Clearly, if you only ever go local to you for holiday, well, maybe now's the time to spread your wings, really. And I love traveling, and actually you don't have to travel far to have a mini adventure anyway, but this sounds great. So is the whole of the June trip kayaking, or are there other things?
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of things planned. This is the thing, and the good thing is, well, it's on offer. This one is like a promotional offer, €519. So I've got the kayaking. We've got a rustic cooking experience. I made a video recently with the chef of the cooking school, which is on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to check out. It is in Spanish. I did the interview in Spanish, but and created subtitles. So if you watch
it, because you know we're British, right? We don't do second languages, right?
I know. Do you know how long it took me to I had to translate it first of all, and then I put on the subtitles manually. So I really hope people do see it. But yeah, so it's called a rustic cooking experience where we're going to be making dishes, local dishes from the area using high quality, seasonal produce. And there's vegetarian option there as well. Possibly a vegan option. That's still I'm still trying to talk about that, but definitely vegetarian. Also, we have something called Art Venture. So I'm collaborating with a local art school, art academy, who happen to be really into history as well. So they're going to take us out in the morning to have a look at some of the really old North African architecture in Rwanda. And then we're going to go back to the art school and create something which is inspired by what we saw on the tour, either with clay, making some ceramics or painting.
Toilet rolls and sticky back plastic for me. And tell me about the accommodation, because obviously no one has to do all of these activities that you're putting on. They could just relax around the accommodation. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that as well?
Yeah, the accommodation's great. It's a little hotel, really nice, quaint, lovely and comfy, really, really great staff. So you get your own double room with ensuite, and it's bright, colorful, gets really good reviews. I'm actually really happy with that. It's got a lovely roof terrace as well. That's where we're going to be doing our Spanish lesson. There's a Spanish lesson included. With regards to the activities, I mean, I would encourage people that want to come on the trip to try the activities, because it's almost, that's what it's all about as well. I'm sort of encouraging people to try different things, and they will have loads of free time. When we're not doing the activities, there's going to be a lot of free time as well. You'll have at least 4 or 5 hours every day of free time to go to the pool. You can go and get a massage. There's loads of other things you can do, or just hang around the hotel.
Cool. And then tell me about the other trips for the rest of the year, because you've got 3 altogether this year, is it?
Yeah, I've actually got, I've got a few, one each month. So June, July, August, September. Although I have got other groups that are showing an interest in coming, sort of groups that already know each other, which I can sort of tailor. That's also another thing that I'm doing. I can take groups and tailor them, and you can choose your own activities as well. But the one that's probably the most different is in August. It's Ultimate Adventure Trip, and that's for people who like a bit more adventure, a bit more challenging outdoor stuff. We've got canyoning, which I'm not sure if you've...
I love canyoning. I really want to do it. I didn't get to do it last time I was somewhere where I could do it. I'm also a lot thinner now. I was always worried that my hips might get stuck in the canyon, so I'm excited about doing canyoning.
Yeah, no, it's going to be brilliant. The canyoning, it looks really great, and it's perfect for around here. There's lots of big rivers and mountains, and so it's really a mixture of bouldering, hiking, swimming up this river mouth. And yeah, we've got a longer hike as well during the August trip. So again, it's views of Africa. On all of our trips, we've got either a little mini hike, or we've got the longer hike with views of Africa. You can actually see Africa from here if you go up high enough. It's amazing. So yeah, that's really it. And the other trips as well, we've got a traditional bread making experience, which I did very recently, which was awesome. They have this sort of different process, and the bread tastes great. Yeah, also flamenco. We've got quite a lot of things actually going on. If I was to sit and talk about them all in detail now, it would be here forever. So all the information is available on the website.
Cool, that's really, really good. Just to let people know, there's a link to these holidays that are in Spain in the title of this as well, and I will also then put in the website as well, and it will also be on the webinar afterwards and in the blog that you get an email tomorrow. So I'll deal with that, and so people have got all the links. But tell us a little bit more. So generally, if anyone's holidaying sober, you seem to be like a traveling genius. What are your top tips for going on holiday sober and keeping sober while you're on holiday?
Pardon?
And going and keeping sober while you're on holiday, because sometimes there must be some great temptation. So.
Well, I suppose for me, I've never really been going to those sort of typical resort boozy places, so it may be a little bit easier in that sense. But what I've done is try to look for activities that, lots of outdoor activities, or check out lots of other things you can do, different museums, different day trips. And generally when you stop drinking and you stop focusing on that sort of thing, you tend to attract other people like that maybe don't drink as much as you, and so I think a lot of people will find that when they go traveling. But get more active, I think.
I think definitely getting thinking through your whole day, because your days will be longer without a hangover, and thinking about what you'd like to do in the morning. And holidays are meant to be about rest and recuperation, and what I found when I was on holiday drinking was I'd come back more tired, because of course I'd drunk every day, probably from lunchtime onwards. So the fact that I can actually go to bed quite early on holiday if I want to, and get a really nice night's sleep, and then get up and, like I did, I went on holiday to Malta and I got up really early, took a ferry over to another island and went running. I still, that still amazes me, the concept that I was able to do that still amazes me.
It's amazing. It's really great, those sorts of things.
And there are tons of local drinks, and you can spend a bit of time exploring those. I went to Ibiza and drank lots of kombucha and other health drinks from the health food store. And actually, Spain's brilliant for alcohol-free beers. So
I've just realised that. I never really was into beer anyway. I don't really like the taste of it. But
no, I wasn't into beer, but I now do, because it's so healthy to drink an alcohol-free beer. It's suddenly my go-to.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, you're right. I've got lots here.
Yeah, and it might be worth you speaking to the vineyards, because they all actually do a really nice grape juice, most vineyards, which they never really talk about. And they tend to taste of the grape that is from that vineyard. And I know a few bars in London make their own grape juice-based cocktails because they prefer them to the alcohol-free wines. So there might be some exploring to do there with some of your local vineyards.
That's interesting, actually, because this place is renowned for the vineyards. I mean, there's loads of them, really beautiful ones as well. Thanks for that. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I think there's a little, exploration to do there. Yeah. If you look at somewhere like the Granary I have to remember where it is, but there's a couple of bars in London that use locally sourced Spanish and French grape juices to make a basically wine alternative, which has got some botanicals and stuff in it as well. So maybe there's some fun to have there.
That sounds delicious.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the Club Soda community before you finish? Or
no, just the sort of atmosphere that I want to create here is one of positivity, really non-judgmental, and just really positive vibes. And it's just going to be amazing. The place itself, you just need to have a little look online and you'll see everyone falls in love with it, absolutely falls in love with it. And yeah, I'm just really excited about it and looking forward to getting started and meeting new people. And well, that's what it's all about at the end of the day as well, making meaningful connections with like-minded people.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you can answer any questions that come up afterwards on here, on the thread, and I'll deal with the Club Soda based ones. Like, people are asking why there aren't any, they're feeling left out because they're in the north, but this is actually in Spain, guys, and we actually have loads of socials in the north, and I can see there's a few more potential volunteers to run socials in the north as well, so that's cool. And I will chat to you again soon, and I really hope the first trip goes really well, and everyone definitely look out for that trip. Click on the Facebook link in the title, and it will be in tomorrow's email with an edited version of this video.
So one
right.
thing,
Oh,
sorry, Laura, before we
that's
go,
right.
I just wanted to say I've got a closed Facebook group where I've got lots of updates and chats about future travel destinations as well. I'm looking into Morocco right now. I'm chatting with someone about trips to Morocco and lots of other places. So if people can join the group, that would be great. You'll get loads of info there.
And they can join that through your Facebook page, I'm assuming, because it's an attached group, so you can find it on there. Cool. All right. I'll speak to you soon. Lovely to speak to you. Bye.
Bye.